What's up, hybrids? Welcome back to another episode of the Phantom Hybrid Podcast. This is Hanako, and I am here with Anthony, Michelle, and Dina, and we are discussing that absolutely phenomenal season finale for It's Welcome to Derry. That is how you do a season finale. Other shows need to take note.
Yes.
That is how you do a season finale.
Yes, you do.
Okay, I have three things.
Come on.
All right, here we go. Here's your three.
Three things. Number one, I will never look at school assemblies the same way again. Ever.
Okay. It was
Ever.
giving Carrie.
That motherfucker know how to make an
Ever.
entrance, don't he?
Yes. And number two, how many snacks do you need for the road? I'm just saying, how many snacks do you need for the road?
You don't know where you're going, so you just want to make sure.
Since
And,
I'm awake, I'm going to go ahead and pack me a light lunch.
and number three, I forgot the actress's name who played Lily, but her impression of Frodo, of Gollum and the Precious was just too much for me. I almost lost it. I almost lost it. My precious.
Like,
Don't touch it.
Yeah, and
And then they say, "Oh, we can share the load." It's like, oh no.
Marge is smart.
Okay.
She's like, maybe we need to take turns, okay?
Right.
We're not going nowhere. We're just
I'm
going to
like,
take
thank you,
turns.
Hermione, because
Right. That's what I was thinking. I was like, oh my
Yeah,
God, it's a
yeah,
Horcrux.
Yeah.
And Lily is the Ron of the.
I can see
That's
that.
it. Those are my three things. I had one more, but we can save it for later.
Okay. Ooh, okay. So we're gonna start all the way from the beginning. When this fog is coming in, I'm sorry. Maybe it's just because it was all the white folks, and I'm saying this I'm joking a lot, but I'm not. If it was black folks, we'd have seen that shit and we'd have ran.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it was definitely giving the mist.
Right.
How I feel about the mist. I feel very strong about the mist. I'm moving away from the mist.
Deuces.
Right. And then someone let their baby stroller just roll it. I hope the baby wasn't in the stroller.
I think that was
they just
probably
walked
the
away.
mama who was holding the baby, and she was standing there turning around trying to figure out which way she needed to go.
Okay, and then that stroller kept on going. Okay.
But it's crazy because these people are under the duck and cover times of like nuclear war pending and all this other stuff. And you see this coming and you're just like, oh, what is that?
But he does have hypnotic,
I know.
That's true.
ashwagandha in the air. Okay. And I ain't say marijuana, but some ashwagandha in the air. So they're just feeling like, oh, it's just the fog that comes in off the ocean. That's what it is. It's killing the leaves, clearly.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
The minute I walked out of my barbershop and saw that, before it got to me, I don't know how far that the reach of that stuff is and how far it's gonna mess with your mind before it actually gets to you. I would have turned around and been like, nope. I would have just took off running, just somewhere, anywhere. Because obviously walking into the buildings didn't help him.
Yeah.
No. But
I mean, help the principal either.
Well, and this was the crazy thing about all that, because I was like, he's really just using that as a literal smoke screen for the adults, because except for the three adults that got in his way at the school, he touched the adults. Even when he came on the intercom and he, as the principal, and he was like, school is dismissed for the day, upperclassmen, you can leave, the rest of you come to I was like, yeah, he don't want anybody that's probably
old enough to fight.
Yeah. So it must be something. Maybe I don't know, because I was going to say, we know he can affect the adults, but I guess going back to what you said a couple of episodes ago, Anthony, the fear doesn't excite him from the adults as much as it does for the kids. I think the fear for the adults, he finds that humorous. He finds it hilarious because we see he got a weird sense of humor. But when it comes to the kids, that's what gets him high. You know?
Yeah, someone I had read somewhere, someone said, well, the difference is like the fear of the kids is like fear, is like raw fear, just plain fear. Adult fear is like, how am I gonna make my next bill payment? You know, the fear is not the same.
Right. Like how you manifest that? Like you just gonna throw some bills at me in my email,
and he probably would starve off of that because bills, not exciting. Yeah,
right. And then at that point, you don't like they don't even taste that great. I'd rather the kid who just scared of like a zombie. Boy, they better taste it.
Right.
Or like
my
said,
gonna get cut off tomorrow.
The darker the meat.
Oh my God.
Okay, so let me ask this question. Did anybody else get offended by that? Because I didn't, but apparently a lot of people did.
Oh, a lot of people did. I didn't get offended because I'm like, clearly he's that type of person. Like
y'all missed the whole point of Pennywise if you got offended by that. Because this was my thing. People got offended that he said, oh, I can't believe he said that. I saw somebody that was like, they need to throw him under the jail. I said, but y'all didn't have no problems with anybody calling Looney Lily Bainbridge talking about mental health. Y'all had no problems with the Patty Cakes calling Ricky Ricardo Jr. Or anything else that was kind of like that.
Or, just eating children.
Yeah, first of all, he's an alien. He's an alien child murderer.
But that is okay. But then really, what are you offended by? Because we walk around and say that. Oh yeah, because
Dr. the Bear,
the juice. But then it says it, and you offended. Why? Because you thought you can get away from him? No, he loves all the races.
He probably heard that in somebody's head. Oh, the Dr. the Bear is juice.
Yeah. He know what I'm saying? He love them all.
And this is not the books, because in the books, they say the N-word very, very freely.
Yeah.
So he didn't say that. And I looked at it as, he was doing these things to provoke these specific children. And we find out why later, but I feel like he was really trying to provoke Leroy. And how you gonna provoke a black man whose child is say some shit like that? I was like, when he said it, I said, oh, you just don't know. Leroy went about to whoop your ass.
Yeah. It's about to go down.
Right. So I took it for what it was. It was supposed to piss Leroy off. Pennywise is offensive. He says things that are out of pocket. And he does it with a laugh. There's nothing
inoffensive about it. Its whole purpose is to either upset you and make you scared. Like, duh.
Yeah. Like, oh, did you just talk about my child? Or wait, did you just threaten to eat my child? Either way it goes,
I don't care.
It had the intended effect.
But that's also the thing too. It's been a lot of the which is true, that typically in these types of movies, the real monster or the scariest thing is not the monster itself, but the racists. And that's very true. But I think that they had separated him from that type of evil.
Yeah.
And so I think for some people, it's him jumping over it. But my thing is, he's been eating racist. So what does he got inside him? You know what I'm saying? Like he got that inside him.
He is equal opportunity.
Yeah.
Right. So but he's also, like we said before, he gonna say something to get under your skin.
Right.
So what do you expect him to say?
Yeah.
You want him to be polite? This man said, is it the face on my face?
The face on my face.
The face on my face.
So he gonna tell Leroy, your son gonna taste good because he black.
And it didn't lock all those black people in the black spot either. It had nothing to do with that. It just happened to be opportunity.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this opportunity.
But it didn't chain the doors.
Yeah.
Mm.
He didn't even put him there. That was Ingrid trying to bring him out.
He was trying to take his nap, honey. He was like, "Nah, who done woke me up?"
Right. In the military. I mean, I was tripping when he said that. I was like, okay, so Pennywise likes his meat a little seasoned. Okay, I guess. I mean, it was funny to me because that's the context it was supposed to be. It was like supposed to be offensive to the point where you like, this dude stupid. He crazy. That's literally his whole persona. He says things that are offensive. He says things that are out of pocket. He says things like, yeah, I just, when I saw that online, I was like, y'all.
I mean, it's just, we do tend to get very, very sensitive about a lot of things. I mean, because somebody had pointed out, they were like, didn't Freddy Krueger say something similar to that back in the 80s? Like,
Probably
so. Probably so.
Like,
probably so.
Yeah. But I mean, but Pennywise, I think I said this, he knows how to make an interest, because when he called the kids into this assembly and they're coming in and the patty cakes are looking like, where are the teachers? I was like, okay, this is about to be ugly. I was not expecting the principal to already be dead, but it's like literally as soon as he comes through the curtains and he starts moving his mouth, I said, is he using this dude as a puppet? What? He is using the principal as a ventriloquist dummy. I was like, you know what? This whole episode is about to be unhinged as fuck.
As soon as it started talking, I turned to Michelle and said, oh, he gone.
Yeah.
He's gone.
Like, they're dead. Like already dead. And then it's not bad enough that he's already dead. You got to go add insult to injury. You got to put your hands in his eyes, rip his head off, throw the body, and then you punt the head like a football. I was like, you know what? I think Bill had a little too much fun filming this that day.
And you can tell right now it is like not not bothered by anything, because it hadn't even like fixed itself. It's still half covered up to here in blood.
I think he was giddy. He was giddy
not
about
taking
the fact,
shower
like,
yet.
Oh, I thought I was gonna be asleep for 27 years. I get some extra time. I think he was literally high off of the.
Because I'm about to go traveling. I'm about to go on a long extended vacation. Let me gather my food.
Bust out of this cage,
right? But my thing is, this is a great time to be an upperclassman because you got to go home.
Look, listen, because I was like, all these kids about to die. Like, I thought he was gonna kill everyone, and
that's what I thought too.
He starts singing the song, and the song was creepy in and of itself. But when he got to that last note and held that note while I was like, I'm done. I'm done, because I know I'm supposed to be horrified right now. I was on my couch cracking up. I was like, okay, I think this is the first time that I've really looked at his Pennywise as anything comical, because, we always talk about Tim Curry's version of Pennywise. He was funny. He was more funny than scary, I think. And that, I think for me, especially watching it young, being younger, I think that was the thing that scared you most, because he actually did pull you in. This one, he's just always been scary. But when he started doing this, I was like, I know I am not supposed to be laughing right now. I should be feeling sorry for these kids.
Oh, God.
It was also the patty cakes. And even though I didn't want them dead, I was like, they need to be dead lighted for about 10 minutes. I just, after all the stuff that they have put Lily through this season, I was like, you know what? They deserve to be dead lighted. But the rest of the kids, no.
I see your pretty faces and I taste them too.
And did you notice, like, it's almost like as soon as he started singing, it really started hypnotizing everybody, because even the kids who were at the door, as soon as he started singing, they stopped and turned around like, I was like, oh, he about to munch on all of them. And then he did the deadlight thing and let them out. I was like, okay, this is different.
That was a great scene.
It was.
It was really well shot too. Yeah. It was just, it was really pretty.
Pretty in a very eerie way, yeah.
Yeah, eerie, but very eerie.
Yeah. But then you have the girls upstairs still in the tower. And again, I'm sitting here like, these kids have been part of a fire when one of their friends died.
They've
Your
been in the
parent,
sewers being chased by a
your
monster.
parent, but that was even before the fire and Rich
Mhm.
dying. Like, this is news. Like, I thought about this for the last episode. I'm like, okay, so you have these kids that you found at this place that y'all are investigating for a fire. So we saw Leroy and Charlotte come for Will, but that's because they knew Will was there. Y'all didn't think to call the other parents to have them come pick up their children?
They ain't been around no way.
I was like, what did Charlotte and Leroy take them home, or
Lily's mama working a triple shift.
Honey.
She ain't got time for all that foolishness.
She honestly ain't got time for Lily, period. She's
No,
tired
don't.
of Lily's shenanigans is what she's tired of, apparently. Because she ain't really been great to her this whole show.
No.
She ain't got time for none of that. None of it.
But when they're
No, if you call me about Lily one more time.
One more time.
One more time.
You going to what's that place? I can never Juniper Hills with
Hill. Yeah. But the girls being up on the tower when all of this stuff happens, I was like, oh, okay, maybe they can escape it, but of course they got to go see what's going on, which at this point I kind of understand, because they're like, okay, we have gone through enough. We just lost Rich. What is going on in the town? They know they have a weapon that it's scared of. So I guess they're feeling a little bit bold, and Marge is like, I really want to kill this clown.
Yeah, man. She got real hard.
Right.
Yeah.
Because when they turn around, they see
it was very strong.
The wanted posters for all the kids, and Marge was like, this is everybody we go to school with. Like, what is this thing doing? Because I don't even know if at this point, if they know that Pennywise is supposedly asleep. Like, maybe Will's parents told them because of, so maybe they're thinking it too. And they're like, wait, what is all this going on? Then they go to the school. They see the dead principal's head. They see the dead milkman. They see somebody else was there. Oh no, that was the principal's body.
But they see blood.
Yeah.
On
and
the
they see all
ground.
the missing posters.
Right, missing posters.
And then they get the one that happens to blow on Lily's leg, which I think was on purpose, and it's Will. Mm-hmm. And they're like, yo, we gotta go save our friend. We not doing this again. So let me tell you, when they got ready to, first of all, I'm impressed about the fact that they had 3 people on this bike and they were getting it. I was impressed, but when they tried to do it the second time, probably because they're so nervous and scared, they can't do it. When Marge was like, we getting in the milk truck.
Let's go, Marge. Let's go.
I was like,
Marge
okay, Marge.
She about it.
You don't know how to drive?
She was like,
Do you?
Watched. It's okay.
I watched.
Right.
And then y'all want to blame stuff happening on her one eye.
Right.
What y'all doing?
I want to say, I used to wonder why the Patty Cakes wanted Marge in their group, but now I see it. There is something special about her.
Mm.
Yeah. She's. I don't know.
She has let her be herself.
Yeah.
She's good, and they wouldn't let her be herself because she's witty, she's
strong.
smart, right? Yeah,
and she's strong.
She fun. She got to come back and stuff for people.
And she's brave.
And she's smart because they're like, have you driven before? She's like, no, but I see my uncle drive.
Right, and that's a stick.
Yeah.
I would have still been in the parking lot.
A big
I ain't gonna lie.
Car,
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's a good point you bring up about her, is because it is that thing when people beat you down so much, you forget who you are. You forget what strengths you have, or you don't know you have strengths because people hold you down so much. And for her, just trying to fit in because she was picked on. I probably picked on way worse before she started hanging with the Patty Cakes. And then they finally gave her an opening and she was just like desperate. And, I felt like even before she tried to cut her eyes out, the fact that she was going to tell Lily the truth showed her character, because she felt bad enough where she was just like, you know what, this is way beyond my pay grade. Like, I can't be this kind of person, her character is really changed my whole opinion, because at first I was like, please murder her.
We were all like, can Pennywise go after her? Because it was like, you are supposed to be this girl's friend.
Yeah.
And you are
Yeah.
letting popularity and status and all this other, superficial stuff come in the way of someone that you've been friends with since first grade. Yeah, I was like that too. I was like, I don't like her, but when I say she's one of those characters where you see the growth of the character. And like you said, Michelle, when she's given an opportunity to just be herself, and I do think a lot of that had to do with Rich too, because Rich was the one kid out of the whole group who basically accepted everyone for whatever. Even when Lily was like, they think I'm crazy. He was like, yeah, they think you crazy. My barber thinks you crazy. This person thinks you crazy. And okay, whatever. We know this already. Let's move on. He literally gave people their space to deal with their stuff. And same thing with Marge. Marge is coming in to the group late. She's coming in after having been, the way she was with Lily. So everybody else is already looking at her like they don't trust her. And Rich was the one, because he had the little crush, but also because he was just like, okay, we're all just kind of outcasts here. So it's cool.
Oh, Rich. Our baby.
But let me tell you, when they were driving in the truck and they're sitting there arguing with each other, my whole thing was, Ronnie, will you shut up and let this girl drive, talking about you need to go faster, you need to go faster. Look, y'all traveling faster than y'all would
a milk truck.
To the bike. And if she had been paying attention to the road instead of paying attention to you fussing at her, then she wouldn't have hit the pothole. And y'all, I was just like, Ronnie, stop. I'm gonna tell you now, the Grogans were kind of they were getting on my nerves this episode. Ronnie kind of chilled out after that, because when she was the one that kind of stopped Lily, you are not dragging us down. You are a lifeboat.
You're a lifeboat.
She was the one that snapped her out. I was like, okay, Ronnie, all right, you cool with me now. You was kind of getting on that nerve, that last nerve, but okay. They showed, once y'all unite, once y'all do stuff together and y'all are on the same page, y'all can do some stuff.
Yep. They are a solid team.
They really are.
They are. And I think, going back to what you said, Michelle, about Marge and her being able to just be herself, I think the same also goes with Lily, because Lily, everybody is always looking at her strange. They're calling her names, calling her crazy, calling her this, calling her that. And then the stuff that Pennywise said to her got in her head about, oh yeah, you bring them all together and bring them to me. But no, it's because of Lily that they were all together. So I think once Ronnie said that to her, that also gave her calmness and her strength to be like, okay, you know what? I can do this. I can be that person for the group. I can hold on to everybody else and help everybody. I just think all of them came through such transformation from where we first saw them to where they ended up. And for them to have to go through what they went through at the end of this episode, it's like they couldn't have done this without all of that. They had to go through those little challenges and, kind of being able to see themselves for who they really are.
Yeah. Except for we don't really have full Lily, to be honest with you, since the sewers, because she has been taken.
Lily?
By the one source.
The one ring.
The one ring that rules them all. Because that has been corrupting her this whole entire time. Well, so hopefully she can snap out of it. And we're done with them, but we really didn't get to see Lily in her true glory.
Yeah.
Instead, we just see, like, really?
Well,
I'm sorry. I just don't really care for much for Lily, and Lily could have just, succumbed.
Oh, stop.
I'm just saying.
No.
She just gets on my nerves because she's just so. And I would be too if I was in her position. She's just very whiny, and that gets on my nerves.
Right, and that's it.
But we have to think about it. She has also been through the most trauma out of anybody in that group.
Right, but it's time to step up, though. Sorry.
She's 11 years old.
12.
I don't care. Everybody else has stepped up. Everybody else is doing some adult things, and having to deal with it.
Everybody can't be rich.
Or Will or Marge.
Will talks a good game.
Well, all of us would talk a good game, and then we turn around and someone jumps off our refrigerator. I would be a little off too.
Up to his nose in blood, covered in blood.
Right.
Yeah, I think y'all punk out.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, I didn't know what I was saying.
Right. But the thing about that dagger is something we find out from Rose. Rose tells she tells the group, because at this point, and we'll talk about Leroy, but when Leroy goes to tell Charlotte that Will has been taken, she starts talking about the dagger, and when they try to go find the dagger, she says that the dagger is part of the comet that this thing came down on. And all it wants to do is to go back, quote unquote, home, which is in the tunnels under the house on Nebo Street. And she said, the further away you take it from the tunnels or from the house, it's going to do what it needs to do to try to get back. And it's going to affect your mental health. And of course, where the kids were trying to take it, they were trying to take it literally on the opposite from where the house is, so that they could try to close the cage. So I think because they were going further away from the house, that's why Lily was losing it the most. And then, of course, once Marge and Ronnie kind of took turns with it, you notice she wasn't as bad as she was. So I think, kind of like the Horcrux in Harry Potter, we mentioned it earlier, but I think it was just one of those things where it was affecting her the longer she was holding on to it. Like if she had kept it in her bag, she might have been maybe not as far gone, but you see, she put it in her bag, and then she was walking with it like this, like she didn't want to let it go. So that thing was like, yeah, I can get her. And then, it just didn't anticipate that she had friends with her who were like, nope, you're not going to do this by yourself. And then the same thing happens to Will later on.
Yeah, but Will turned his ass around. He's like, yeah, I'm going to take it back.
He did, because that's what the thing was telling him to do.
I know, that was so funny. He was like,
it was, because it was so sudden.
It was so sudden. He just turned around. Okay, I'm going to take it back now.
Right.
Like, wait.
But before we go on with the kids, going back to the adults and Leroy finding out about Will being taken. So I thought about it when they showed that scene. I said, okay, so that answers Dina's question, because Dina was like, if you see what they're doing at the base, why not call your wife and your child and tell them to get the hell out the house? So apparently he did go straight to his house on the base. He tried to call them at the house, and that's when he finds out that they're taken. But I thought about it. I said, you know what? I said, Charlotte gonna whoop his ass when she find out. I was like, Charlotte gonna whoop his ass. But when he goes to Halloran, that poor man, I really like, if it wasn't for the fact that I knew he exists in The Shining, I really thought he was about to just end it all. Because the one ghost, the first ghost that he sees, the one that's at the wall, I didn't realize he was plastered on the wall the way he was. And then when he tells one of the other ones to leave him alone, that Joker came out the wall. I said, you know what?
Yeah,
I don't know how they did that effect. That was so cool. But I was like, nope. Because he almost looked like one of those, what do you call them? Like the fat boys, is the little things that you put on the wall.
Yeah.
He was almost on the wall like he was a sticker. And I was like, that's interesting. And then he pulls out the wall. I was like, nope, that's too much. And then he had,
so bad for him.
Then he had the nurse, and there was another guy. I was like, you know what? And then when Leroy comes in and he's looking at him, I'm like, why are you looking at him like you surprised? He told you what was going to happen. He told you what was going to happen to him. So when he told Leroy, you did this, I said, let him feel that guilt.
I still feel like Leroy don't halfway believe him. I kind of feel like Leroy don't halfway believe him.
I don't know, because after old girl showed them where the artifact was, I would think that, okay, you know what? He
You
might
would
be
think,
telling the truth.
but Leroy, he's been trying to tell him, dude, if you understood what I saw, what I see presently, like even the previous episode, he's like, are they here now? Yes, you know,
Right.
but it's like Leroy can't quite wrap his head around the fact that this man is really struggling.
Yeah.
Well, I think he does because he can help him, but the reality of no one will know how that is
Yeah.
unless you're sitting in it.
Yeah.
Like he's like, oh, okay, you see dead people. It can't be that bad. Yeah, it can be. You know what I'm
Especially
saying?
since those dead people were creeping on the floor.
Right. You know what I'm
like,
saying? So
why
for
are
him,
they
he's like, okay, you
doing
hear
this?
voices, but I'm thinking it shouldn't be that bad.
I think
Well,
it's almost like
hearing voices is not as bad as actually seeing the people
No, no,
talking.
no.
right.
But it's bad either way. If there's constant noise in your head of them talking, he's seeing them. But Leroy don't get that. He never experienced it before.
And also, I think our idea of like ghosts and spirits, I think for a lot of people is kind of like the romanticized version. You think about, women ghosts walking around in their little old-fashioned nightgowns and just kind of floating on the air. You don't really think about the bad part of a spirit, or you don't think about the violent spirits unless you watch something that's horror based. And I think that probably could be what it was for Leroy, because it's like, even when Dick was telling him about his powers, he was like, yeah, we got people like that in New Orleans. Oh, okay. You got people like that, but I don't think you quite understand. When this man talks about he has voices in his head, and I think maybe that's also the other thing, because he keeps saying voices, dead things. I don't think he communicated to Leroy, no, these things are walking around. I see them, except for when he was talking about the one that they needed to follow for the artifact. And that one he wasn't scared of because she helped him. So maybe that's what Leroy was thinking, like, okay, they can't, like you said, Michelle, they can't be that bad. You don't know that this one right here has his brains blown out, and this one right here is missing his face from the jaw down, and you don't understand all of that, because I don't know if even Dick I don't know if he's able to put that into words, because it might seem simple for us, like, okay, just tell him you see dead people walking around, but for him it might be a little bit more involved in that. Not, it's just one of those things where you just really can't explain. It's like you got to see it to believe it. But either way it goes, Leroy was getting on my nerves. I was like, you did this to him. Like, he just told you did this to him because you're trying to, get your position, trying to get a promotion, trying to, whatever it is you're trying to do for the military or for this country. You fucked this man over, and now you want him to come and help you. And I was like, if he does what he does, it just is what it is, because you brought this on him. But then when he brought that, he was like, it took Will, please help me find my baby. I was like, okay, you know what? Feel sorry for you now.
Yeah, because he broke it down. My baby, save my baby.
Right.
And he said, I'll help you. I'll pull the trigger myself.
He was like, but I need to get my son.
But I need to get my son back.
So then they go to Rose's, which is where Charlotte and Hank are. And Charlotte goes off,
Yes, she did.
And rightfully so, but also you shouldn't have left your child in that house. I'm sorry. You just shouldn't have.
Yeah, if you thought it was safe enough to take Hank, why would you not think it's safe enough to take your kid over to Rose's house? Because Hank was gonna be protected over there. But you leave your kid in the town. Oh, he sleep? Nah, I don't care what you say. Sleep? Nah, y'all don't know what you're
Everybody is together. We all together till we leave this town.
Right, exactly.
Thank you.
Exactly. So over there, they go into this thing. They talk about trying to get Charlotte to connect with Will, and Dick is going to try to use his powers to help her do that. But Dick is like, y'all don't understand. I keep telling y'all I got all these voices in my head. And you when he say you want me to focus on your little dagger, because Rose was like, well, instead of focusing on Will, focus on the dagger. If we find the dagger, we can put the dagger in the place of the other artifact. We can cage him again. So she tells him, I can quiet the voices in your head, but you're gonna have to trust me. And she makes this little tea
The
out of
matron tea.
yes. And she was like, here, drink it, it'll quiet it. She waits until after he drinks it, and then she's like, don't get to I was
like something you should have said first.
Give me the instructions first.
But I don't think she was expecting him to drink it like that too. And I think when he did that, I was like, okay, so y'all should understand just how bad off he is, because he is drinking a substance he knows nothing about. He doesn't know what kind of effect it's going to have on him. But she's like, okay, this is quiet voice. Oh, okay. He took it like a shot. That should have told y'all right then.
Yeah.
How screwed up his mind was at that moment.
Because he was like, how's this going to work? She said, in order for one door to open, another must close. And it worked.
He knocked it back.
But think about it. He was about to pull a bullet in his head. So.
Yeah.
Whatever he needed to come. And I can just imagine, like, I just wouldn't want to see all that.
No. And I think about that every time I watch movies or shows like that, where people, like The Sixth Sense was a big one for me, because that's literally what this kid was seeing. He was not only seeing just dead people or ghosts walking around, he was seeing the violent ones, the ones that, met violent ends, who were roaming the earth because their spirit wasn't at rest. I wouldn't want to have that power.
No.
Because
it's because you want to say, can I see you how you was like a week ago or something? Like,
and that's the thing. You can't choose with that kind of power.
It's like, why you gotta be coming at me like this?
Yeah.
Can you come to me with a whole head and not have a head from being with the shotgun?
But even in Harry Potter, ghosts appear as when they died.
No, I don't want that.
Yeah.
Or you want the ghosts that that died in their sleep.
Yeah. But so they figure out where the dagger is. They figure out that the girls have it. And he tells them, he was like, the girls are going, they're going to try to save Will. And Hank is like, my baby Ronnie. Okay, here's my one gripe for the whole episode. Hank Grogan is probably the most useless character in the whole damn show.
Useless.
No, he served his purpose.
Or what? For
Ingrid. He served.
That's it.
Okay, but
he had two purposes, actually.
Why did you have Ronnie?
Actually, very big.
It's the wife. This is dead wife.
I don't know, but my whole thing with Hank is, you messed around with the white woman and put yourself in a position where you couldn't have your own alibi, because that would have got you killed. Then you go and impose on other people trying to hide,
put them all in danger,
and tell them that you're going to stay put. And then the minute danger shows up at the door, hey, I'm here. So you put everybody in danger, and you're not completely responsible, but you are partially responsible for what happened at the black spot. Because you could have crawled your ass out a window or something, but
you could have not come out, like they told you not to.
So
they would have gone searching for him.
He was useless. You can't even help shoot at the end. Like, come on.
And that's what I'm getting to. Everybody else
has a part to play.
The children, the 12-year-olds, are trying to take this dagger across the lake so they can trap this thing. Leroy has been shot. Daniel has been shot and killed. Y'all fight against the military. You take their weapons, and Leroy is the only person using the gun to shoot. Like, Pennywise is skipped to my Lewin all the way across the river to get to your children, And all you can say is, oh shit, and Ronnie, go, baby, go. Bruh.
That's it. That is
Even if you don't know how to use the gun, you sit there and you trial and error. You figure that shit out. That thing is going after your daughter.
Yeah.
When I say I was so hot at him, and even Charlotte, because I was like, why are you holding a gun?
And if you ain't going to shoot.
Yeah, I was like, why are they not shooting? They're just standing there.
Because at least that was slowing him down. Even if it wasn't permanently hurting him, it was slowing him down.
Right.
They just watching. And then the guys on the ground, they ain't doing nothing. What are you guarding?
Because they embarrassed. They just got their ass kicked by some civilians.
You know,
that's what that was. And they just realized how bad they fucked up. That's what that was. But yeah, Hank Grogan, most useless character in the whole show. Like, what? And the whole reason that Will and his family are even in the crosshairs is because Charlotte trying to help you, because she got to be on her crusade. Bitch, get your child and get the fuck out of town. Y'all wouldn't, but that's neither here nor there. What's done is done. But
I'm Charlotte, I'm okay with, because Charlotte may not know how to use the gun. They just gave her the gun for
again, trial and error. At this point, that thing is going after.
No, because because you can shoot people you don't need to shoot. So I don't need her shooting.
If the children are here,
she
and
may.
Pennywise is here, I'm gonna
she
take my chances, because if I shoot anybody else, at least it's not my child.
No.
Collateral damage.
It was just for the cameras. However, we don't want her to shoot, because this is not the time to learn. Okay? Not the time to learn, because when we learn, we're going to shoot some other people.
I just think they could have done a lot more damage before they waited for this fucker to turn into a flying bat monster and then decided to shoot. Like, y'all could have shot him while he was on the ground. Gosh. Y'all waited till he was up in the air, and now you want to freely shoot? I mean, that's when Hank Grogan took the shot. Once he saw that, he was like, oh shit, yes. That's what you should have been saying 5 minutes ago, when this thing was on the ground and Leroy shot his head off and the head grew back. That's what you should have been saying then.
There was a lot of delays happening.
Listen, and I understand they had to give us that time, to give the kids time to fight with this dagger so they could try to put it in, but still it was like, oh, Hank Grogan, I was like, dude, you are in the way at this point. You are dead weight. He got on my nerves so bad.
Wow.
He got on my nerves so bad.
Wow. Tell me how you really feel.
All right. I totally agree with you, because he was useless.
I'm being tame.
I mean, she can't even come out of this and say, I was proud of you, Daddy.
She had more balls, for sure.
She does. She's the one who saved his life.
So.
Yeah.
He was better off staying at the house.
Right. Because
he couldn't even go with the other men to secure. No. He didn't even go with them. He stayed in the truck.
Yeah.
What you gonna do in the truck?
And I'm assuming Leroy, went with Tanya because obviously Tanya knew what to do with the thing, and then he was gonna protect him as a soldier, and Hank was left behind to protect the women folk. But I feel like that was kind of wasted.
Take them from, because at that point they didn't know that the military was coming.
Yeah, well, that's
what I'm saying.
That's true too. Yeah,
Leroy was helping because he said the thing is going to want to not go where it's supposed to, so we can work together. So it would have been great to have a third man there. So you protect the women from Pennywise?
But no, because here's the thing: Leroy doesn't have the fear, and he knows Tanya is going to do what he needs to do because that's his familial duty. He ain't got time to babysit Hank.
No, but he did say because it's going to want to not go where it needs to go, you do need additional help.
Not if you got to babysit the additional help.
I'm just saying why Leroy went. Now, why they left, they should have let Hank come.
They let him stay behind because the army would have shot him anyway. He would have been dead as soon as...
He was dead weight. He would
He would
not
have
have
got
felt
shot immediately anyway, so it's
Oh,
fine.
the Hank slander.
I mean,
dead weight.
sorry. It's the truth.
And poor Tanya, though. In Rose, that's
That
just...
scream.
Oh man.
I felt like watching Amos Diggory in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Yeah, that it tore at me that same way. But going back to the kids. So again, you got the girls, they have the dagger, and what has happened is Pennywise has decided that he's going to try to get out of the cage, and there's only one point that he can go to. There's a tree that's on the other side of the river, and it's the farthest spot that the other artifacts, their power reaches. So if he gets past that tree, the world is an oyster to him. He can go wherever. So what they're trying to do is take the dagger to that particular tree, or at least that's what the adults know that they need to do. The kids don't know that they need to do this yet. They just know they have a dagger he's afraid of, and they need to go find Will. So they look across the river, which is frozen because of the mist and Pennywise, and all you see is floating bodies over the river.
The traveling all-you-can-eat buffet.
Listen. So they run, and they're trying to find Will, and of course, Will is at the very front of the line because he was the first one that he took. And the part where they were trying to get to Will, they were like trying to get him down, and they start jumping. I was like,
okay. I'm like, if you're gonna do that, hit him with the dagger or something. Like, what are y'all doing?
I was looking, I said, this looks so comical right now. I know something fucked up is about to happen. I was like, y'all trying to make us laugh before some shit really hits the fan. And then here comes Pennywise out of the thing, and he's talking to them. He was like the fool, the freak, and the what did he
failure.
And the failure. But which is which? It doesn't matter. There's room for you all. He gets ready to come at them, and Ronnie, who has the dagger, she holds it at him, and he does this little thing where he goes back and he leaves. And I was like, okay, they got some time. This Joker starts running around them scared. I was like, you know what? I paused my TV. I said, I thought I was going to be free from the run for one episode, just one.
Mm-mm.
And this was worse because you couldn't see what direction he was coming from.
Yeah.
So there was no buildup. It's just they're facing this way. He comes behind them. And I don't know if because of the dagger, he couldn't actually touch them. But I mean, just what he was doing was scary enough.
Yeah.
Then he grabs Marge by the ankle and he pulls her into the fog. I thought Marge was done.
Yep.
But that's when we find out some interesting information.
Yes, we did.
Yep. All the theories panned out.
They did. Because what does he say to her? He tells her, he said, I always wondered how you would taste. Margaret Tozier.
Margaret Tozier.
And she's backing up, and then all of a sudden she started like, Tozier. Like, who the hell? And he was like, not yet, but in the future. He was like, first comes marriage, then comes first comes love, then comes marriage, then comes Richie in the baby carriage. And he has one of the missing posters for future Richie, Finn Wolfhard's character. And she's looking at him like, the hell are you talking about? And he was like, oh yeah, your son and his friends, they kill me in the future.
Or is it the
past?
Or my birth?
I don't really know. He said, you know, my death is my birth. Because apparently Pennywise's lifespan does not move in the same way that ours does. It's linear. So he can, from what I gather, it's like he can exist in various points of time. And because he remembers everything that happens up until then, it's like, I think that's part of his ability, instead of it just being him being psychic, like Anthony said.
It's more like memory. It's more like he's everywhere. He's everywhere all at once.
Everything everywhere all
at once.
Yeah,
all at the same time for him.
It's not from it's not from this universe. It's from a different reality. It's not even a different reality. It's just from a different plane of existence.
Mm-hmm.
So it perceives everything differently than we do.
Right.
So
Which
yesterday,
is
today, and
so
tomorrow is all the same.
Right. And
Which
I
is
thought
amazing.
about it when he said my death is my birth. I think he meant that in a lot of different ways, because he's not only talking about him as the entity, like when they kill him, I don't know, when they kill him in 1989, maybe he goes back and starts the cycle all over again. Like we figure out here, what he's trying to do is he's actually trying to kill them so that those kids don't exist. Or at least he says this to Marge. I would think that he would try to do that with the others too, because it's Will's descendant, Marge's child, which is, you know,
But see,
so
what it doesn't really comprehend is it doesn't understand that it probably created its own death.
that's what I was thinking too.
Because, you know,
Because you just told her that her son kills you. So what is she gonna do when she meets a future, guy named somebody told you? Is it that she fell in love with him and then had the child, or is she now going to fall in love with him because you told her about the child?
It's Terminator all over
It's
again.
Terminator all over again, because
so
it's starting to create the things that kill it.
But she's not going to remember.
Trying to change things.
That's the thing too.
I think she does. She's not going to remember.
She's not going to remember.
Yeah.
But then it opens it up for what she said to Lily. So is he going to move towards the past?
Which is giving us more shows.
Which is chapter 2 is.
Yeah.
So then it just explains how it don't explain plot holes, but it does explain like, oh, he was so like delicate with the Losers Club. No, like if he did start traveling back, he is now a little bit more like, I got to get this shit under control.
Yeah.
So he's a little bit more fierce. And then that means next season, he's going to be horrible.
I can't wait.
Horrible. Yeah.
Netflix, don't you ruin this for us.
But when he started saying that, I was like, you do realize you literally just kind of sort of gave her the tools to make sure that your ass dies in the future. But also his whole my death is my birth. That can also go for Bob Gray, because when Bob Gray died, he became this version of himself, and I don't know. It was just when he said that, I was like, okay, it kind of sort of makes sense that he would try to go back and, you're singling out Marge. Again, probably why he never paid attention to Richie, really, because Richie posed no threat to him in the future, except for the fact that Marge names her son after him. But Will, and I think this is the thing that really kind of confused me, because again, Will's descendant also is part of this thing. Will's future son is a part of this. So why would you not treat Will with the same hostility? Because if my son, and especially because Mike is the one who stays in town. He's the one who records everything. He's the one who brings the losers back when they've left and forgotten. He's the one that sends them the letters and the phone calls and say, hey, it's back, and that's what jogs their memories. You would think Will would be his primary target, but he had Will in the dead light, so he's
right.
Like,
but okay, that is your primary. He was the first kid.
But
he taken.
But I
see,
guess
Marge,
my thing is
Marge is supposed to be up there too. But Marge running around with this damn dagger. Okay, so now I'm pissed off because Will is the first meal he gonna eat when he do his pit stop at Quick Trip.
But see, that was my thing, because I was like, if I felt like Will posed that much of a threat to me and my future existence, Will would have been down in the sewers with Teddy, Phil, and Susie. But there would have been no opportunity for him to even.
Well, you can't think like, you can't use the way we think.
I know.
So because it's experiencing everything all at the same time. So yeah, Mike may not have really been a threat until he was a threat, but then it's not thinking about Mike right now because Marge is in front of him. So it's got Marge on his mind.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it even says it's confused.
Yeah.
You know,
And I don't think he was planning to kill them right then. If they had not had the dagger, he just would have deadlighted them with the rest of the
Right.
kids.
And that's why Will was his first one.
Yeah.
So they were all on his list. He went to Will first, not Marge.
Because
He at
Will was
Will's
in the
house on the
smack
telephone.
dab in Derry where he shouldn't have been.
And I don't even think it had a plan to do any of that. It's just all sort of happening in his mind at the same time. Like, oh, wait a second. All these things are connected because it's seeing all these things simultaneously. But like I said, it's still confused because where it's from, it doesn't have a concept of time. It doesn't have a concept of really life. It just exists.
Yeah.
And here it's kind of forced into our way of thinking, and it's confusing.
Yeah.
We think for it. So
I mean, it's confusing for us.
It's not gonna think. Well, yeah, it's probably not gonna know really why it took Will 1st. But at some point, it might look at Will and be like, "Oh, wait a second, that's Mike's father."
Yeah.
Then also, how do we not know that that's not what it was doing when the fire that killed Mike and Will and his mother, Will and Mike's mother in the later, this verse? How do we know it wasn't a part of that? It just didn't realize Mike was already born.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't conceive time the way we do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because in his mind, Will could already be dead. And this is a different Will. It's all confusing to it.
Yeah. Okay. I get it. But just as he's about to eat Marge, he stops again with the teeth out and just frozen. And the reason why is because back at the van, when everything happens, Leroy gives Dick this idea. He was like, look, we can buy some time. Dick got in his head before, he can do it again. So this is what Dick has done right at the right moment. And I love that Marge, she saw that he froze. She didn't even hesitate. She was like, oh, he's frozen. Okay, let me get the hell on. She didn't stand there to be like, what happened? Why is he? She was like, you know what? We'll figure that out later. Let me go. And while he's in Pennywise's head, he basically puts an image there of them finding Bob Gray after he disappeared. So it's the Carney person, it's Ingrid as a little girl, it's all the other people, and they're like, Bob, where were you? What happened? You got to lay off the drink. We found you laying in the ditch. And Pennywise is sitting there like, the fuck is this? I ain't Bob Gray. I was laughing. I saw somebody said on Twitter, they had a gif of him looking like this. They said Pennywise thinking he was human for a minute. Like, what the fuck just happened? He's like, what kind of reality is this? This is not my reality. I'm not Bob Gray. And the guy like slaps him and he's just like, what is going on? Here come the military. Because they want the dagger. They want Halloran because, of course, Leroy and Halloran went AWOL. So they've, like I said, they've shot Leroy, they shot Taniel. They go to get Dick out of the van and they're like jostling him, trying to wake him up. And of course, this messes with the vision that Dick has put into Pennywise's head. When the Carney, who is a white man, falls down and tries to balance himself and he has that black hand, I was like, whoops. This is about to be ugly. I really thought he was going to try to kill Dick. Nah, he was just mad. He kicked him out of his mind. I was like, you know what? It was good while he lasted. If Dick could have stayed in there just a little bit longer,
it could have been okay.
It could have been okay. I think if he'd have been able to stay in there for a little bit longer.
But no, the military had to come in.
That goddamn general, let me tell you. Oh, and then while he has his men, securing the others, getting Dick, he happens to look across the river and he sees the frozen Pennywise. He starts walking over there. I said, you know what? I said, you about to die a painful death, and I don't even care. I don't even care. He goes over and he starts talking to Pennywise like he is, I don't know, it was kind of like, almost like Ingrid in a way. He was just like, oh my God, wondering all these years if you were real or if you were just a little boy's nightmare, and to find out that you're both, oh my God. He was like, whatever they did to you, we're going to undo it. I was like, if you could hear how stupid you sound right now. And then when Pennywise kicks Dick out of his mind and he comes out of it, he looks at the general, and general was like, hey, you can go. You're free to go. And he's looking at the general like, huh? Yeah, you're free to go.
Okay.
He sniffs him one time and he walks off, and then he's like, you know how you get a scent in your nose and you can't get that scent out? That's how he was walking, because he took the sniff, and while he's walking, he's like, then he was like, he was like, I know you. I never forget a smell. At that moment, you should have started running. But you want to sit there and be like, what are you talking about? Like, I just freed you. Why are you can't bother me. And then he tried to buck up at Let me tell you, when he bucked up at Pennywise, I was like, it's all over. I couldn't even get the thought out my mouth. Yep. I said, I was like, you know what? Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy.
Yeah. And that just gives you that arrogance that he thought he could control an otherworldly being that had him in such a, he had you running through the forest, losing your mind as a child. They literally told you that the whole tribe is watching this area so that and you still thought with your hubris that you were going to be able to control this thing.
Even Rose told you as a grown man.
And you still scared. Yeah. At 70-some years old.
Yeah, because when he changed that face, he was like, oh. Yeah.
And that's crazy that's what scared him more than anything. It was what scared him as a child. That still got your mind like that, bro? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, you
well, also because you got to remember, he forgot about it for 45 years.
Yeah.
So
I just figured like stuff came back more as he got more in depth into the thing.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where he probably wrote it off like, oh, okay, yeah, that was a nightmare, but I was a child when I had it. But you know what? The last time you saw that face, you were a child. So the minute you are confronted with that same face, your whole psyche just reverted back to being 12 years old.
Yep.
And then you tried to change it too late because he already smelled the fear on you at that point.
Mm-hmm.
You went back to 12-year-old you, and he smelled 12-year-old you.
Mm-hmm. And it must have tasted real good because he didn't waste no time.
Right. I was like,
yay, finally, he's dead. Yay.
Yeah, like I said, couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. But then we get to the really intense part because, of course, Leroy has been shot, Tanya has been killed, and Will runs to his father, and Leroy tells him, hey, you got to take this dagger. You got to take it to the tree. You got to bury it, and we can cage this thing. It'll be over. And he finally gives Will the pep talk he should have gave him a long time ago. Because Will is like, I don't want to do this. I'm scared. And I'm not like you. And he was like, I don't want you to be like me. Because I'm sorry. Him being like Leroy probably wouldn't have worked out for none of this. Will had to be who he was. He had to care about his friends. He had to be like, no, I'm standing on my, what is the phrase they say? I'm standing on business. I'm going to go help my friends, regardless of what you say, regardless of how dangerous it is. I'm not going to let them down. I'm not going to just leave them to their own devices, and that's kind of what's led them to this point. So he's like, okay, I need you to go take this dagger. Got to do it before the military, because the military is on their way. So him and the girls, they go. They try to take the dagger, like we said earlier. As they get closer to the stump, the dagger is like, nope. And Will literally is like, he stops. He does an about face and starts going, I gotta take it. It wants to go home. And the girls are sitting there fighting with him, trying to get him to let go of the dagger. They're like, let us help you. We got to get this done. We got to get this done. They finally get it turned around, and they are like, this thing is fighting. They're having a hard time trying to get it to the tree. In the meanwhile, Pennywise, who has just had his meal, comes skipping through the fog on the ice. And when I say I saw the behind the scenes of them filming this particular sequence, and he's skipping normally, but the way that they slowed it down for this particular scene, it was like one of the best. I don't even, it was so good, but it was also so creepy because, like Anthony said, his head is not moving. He's just doing this. And then when you look at his feet, he's literally skipping like we skipped as children. I said, you know what? Again, that was one of those parts where I was like, I know I'm supposed to be scared right now, but this shit is funny as hell. It was so funny.
It is, especially because he's so tall too.
Yeah, lanky and just
and he looked. I'm sure he had a good time filming this because it looked like he was having a good time, even just as Pennywise. Pennywise was like, okay, I just had a snack that's been seasoned for a while. It's been simmering. It was sitting in the crock pot for 45 years. Now I'm about to go have some fresh children. I'm gonna get rid of get rid of this dagger, and I'm gonna go out into the world and just have me a feast. He's really about to do this. So the kids are trying to get to the tree. They see him skipping. The adults see him skipping. Like I said, Leroy and them, they fight the military people. They catch them unawares. They get their guns. So as Pennywise approaches the kids and he says something smart to them. He was like, you lose, losers, or something like that. All of a sudden, you see his head get shot off. And you see like the wisps of whatever his being is in the fog because Leroy shot him. He falls to the ground. His head repopulates as one of the bouncy heads. I was like, you know what? I'm not
yeah,
gonna
Jack in the Box.
That. I was like, I'm not gonna get through this scene because I was crackling up too.
Wait a minute, but he also dancing while he running because when he gets to that, he doing that with that hand.
He was having a little.
He was having a good time. Like, oh, they are not going to stop me. I got this.
I'm about to get them, and I'm gonna kill all of them, and blah 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 blah.
He even looking at the adults like, y'all can't do nothing.
Right. So Leroy shoots his head once, twice, and then he gets ready to shoot him a third time, and there's nothing left in the gun. Now, this is the point where Hank Grogan could have redeemed himself in my eyes.
He couldn't even help.
He couldn't help. Charlotte's sitting there screaming for Leroy, because once Pennywise realizes there's no bullets in the gun, he pops his head open and dead lights Leroy. So Leroy is over there, dead light. Here comes Charlotte running to him she dropped the gun.
She not military.
I guess, but my child is over there struggling. Okay. Anyway,
we just said we from a different time. We very militant about our thinking. We done had enough sci-fi to help us learn.
I know. So here he comes. He's crawling. The kids are at the tree stump, and they get it almost to where they can put it in the ground. And it starts reversing. It is fighting. Now, I'm going to tell you, at that point, I literally said out loud, I was like, now would be a good time for Rich to show up. I wasn't expecting him to actually do that. I was just like, now would be a good time for Rich to show up. They go back to where Rose and Hank are standing and Dick. And Rose feels something, she turns. Dick feels something, and he turns. Now, I think Rose saw her ancestor, and that's the only thing she saw because she has a family connection there. That's all you see at first. And I was like, how is Dick seeing this? Because she took the ability to see the dead things away from him. But I think it's because she was helping him and not trying to harm him that he was able to see her. I think she took away the scary things because what was it that she said? She said all things from his world are not, well, that have that same kind of magic are not evil. And I think that's what she was trying to tell him. Look, don't block out everything on that plane. Just block out the stuff that you don't need to see. So you see her outline with the wolf's head and everything. And I just looked and I immediately burst into tears because I knew what was coming after that point. And you see Rich's little body come from behind her and he takes off running. And Dick's face is like, and Rose was like, what do you see? She was like a motherfucking miracle.
Yeah. And I was boohoo crying.
Girl.
As soon as I saw the little body come, it was like, who's that? I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. And when he starts running, I said, he needs to run past Pennywise and throw him the fence. And literally, that's what he does. He runs past him, he looks at him, and I know Pennywise is like, where did this motherfucker come from? He shoots him while I had the chance. He keeps running. He slides on that ice. And he grabs the dagger with his friends. Now, the one thing I loved about this episode and Rich made such an impact in this episode, he never utters a single word. Because when that happened, my very real fear was they're going to do something to break the spell. Like, I didn't want it to be some kind of corny, oh, they see Rich's ghost and they have a last goodbye. I didn't want to do that because I feel like the way that he died was so perfect for what it was. I didn't want them to taint that. And so the fact that he was able to help them get the dagger in, and of course, this is the part where Pennywise, when he sees what's about to happen, he starts transforming into this big, I don't know, pterodactyl looking shit. I don't know what that form was, but even Hank Grogan, I had to agree with him there because he was like, oh shit, that's the most realist expression I have seen. Because what was that? But yeah, he tries to go get Rich, and I don't know if he was going to be able to do it or if it would have just gone through Rich and gotten to the other kids, but perfect timing. They hit the ground.
All Hank can say is, oh shit. Oh shit.
But it's the way he said it though. He said it like he had some real fear in them bones.
Yeah.
He said it like he had some real fear in them bones.
Because for him, this is his first experience.
Yeah.
Everybody else have dealt with
true.
Pennywise in some form or fashion.
Yeah.
True.
That is
except for Charlotte. She hasn't, but she's heard. Hank really hasn't dealt with it at all.
Yeah. And that would explain Charlotte's, because when she saw him running across the river, and of course he's this clown and he's doing the little dance, she is looking at him like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Right. But it's funny.
Is this what I'm seeing with my eyes right now? Is this really what this dude is doing?
Right.
But what's interesting is everyone has that opinion about Hank, though. Because I have someone who said the spirit of Rich had to come down to be a miracle and save his friends. But there's Hank, null and void self, screaming in fear. He couldn't do nothing to save his Ronnie on ice. They said, but if Ingrid was across the ice, maybe he'll become a figure skater and help her.
Wow.
Ooh. Wow. I mean, to be fair,
he didn't do nothing. He did not help.
Was not helpful.
He was not helpful.
That is true.
No,
I'm sorry.
he wasn't.
He
The Hank slander.
And it's sad because, like we talked about, like a lot of this drama, a lot of this connection is because of you, sir.
Yeah.
Redeem yourself.
Right.
Right. Everyone is trying to save you, take care of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or turn
I grow a pair with the gun. Charlotte didn't need to know how to shoot the gun, but damn it, you do.
Yeah. Yeah. But I wonder if he ever found out what happened with Ingrid. Like, did he just think that she abandoned him? Did he find out that she was at the black spot? Like, I don't know, because when she was being wheeled away and she looked at the kids, the three kids that she looked at, Ronnie, Will, and Marge, they don't know who she is. And they don't know of her connection to Lily, because Lily knows her because of Juniper Hill. So without any of them knowing about those connections, there would be no reason for them to make those connections. You know what I'm saying? So I'm wondering, did he ever figure out, like, did he ever hear what happened to Ingrid, or was it just to the point where he was like, you know what, I'm done with this town. I'm done. If I hadn't been fucking around with her in the first place, none of this would be happening. Maybe that's his thinking. He was just like, you know what, I'm just going to put her in my rear view mirror and go.
Yeah, because it didn't leave you with nothing but being locked up on your way to Shawshank. So,
yeah. Right. And then almost being burned alive, which was also her fault. But of course, he doesn't know that. But that was also her fault. So, yeah. But they put the dagger in. Pennywise gets banished back to his spot, I guess, for the next 27 years. And then the next scene we see is Rich's funeral. And I'm glad we got that, because I was like, I need some kind of closure. We couldn't have any closure for Teddy, Phil, Susie, none of them. I was like, okay, at least we do get a funeral, because I can't think of any funeral that we've had in this It universe, because the kids are almost never found. Because we didn't have one for Georgie. Like, they didn't even have his body. His parents were just like, he's gone. So I'm glad we got that closure, and just to see him there comforting. Like, the first time we see him is when Dick shows up at the funeral, and you see he's got one hand on Will's shoulder and one hand on his dad's shoulder, and he's actually leaning his head on Will's shoulder. I was like, y'all got to stop making me cry. Like, we're at the end of the episode. When I say ugly sobbing this whole episode, if I'd have recorded my reaction, which I had thought about doing, y'all would be looking at that like, something is wrong with this girl. Nobody should have this kind of reaction to the episode.
So many tears, though.
I was gone.
Yeah.
Will was like his best friend.
Yeah. They were so tight.
Yeah. But also think about it. They didn't know each other but a couple of months, because even when Marge speaks at the funeral, she was
only
like,
a month.
only knew Rich for a month.
Yeah. Which is so crazy, because it's like the stuff that y'all been through is so crazy that, like, this feels like years and years worth of drama and trauma for them to just go through in a couple of months.
Yeah.
Are you serious? These poor babies.
Right.
And she said what was in, I can't think of his book. What's Georgie's brother?
Oh, Bill. Yep.
Bill's book.
Yeah.
The last part of his book. That's what, which is interesting. So what came first?
About someone who built
good friends.
People who build their houses in your heart. Yeah. So I thought about that too. I was like,
so what came first?
Yeah. So that was interesting, but I thought there was a cute little touch about it, because when she speaks at the funeral after she's done, she puts his drumsticks on the coffin. Did you notice that when Rich's ghost was running, he still had his drumsticks
in his back pocket?
I was like, that attention to detail, I love it. I love it.
You know what I just thought about?
What?
Because everybody, you know how everybody was basically saying like they thought that Lily was Bev's mom or whatever, but what if Lily is somebody else's mom that they didn't focus on in the group? It just popped. I don't know. That just popped in my head when we were just talking a minute ago. I forgot what we were just talking about because I'm old and I just literally forgot.
I feel like if I was Lily Bainbridge, I would get out of Derry. There is no reason for me to be in Derry.
But how's she gonna get out? Unless her mama leaves, she can't go nowhere.
Right. It's a cycle.
When she gets older, she can leave.
No,
but they're
yeah,
gonna
I know,
forget. But they're gonna forget. That's the problem. They're gonna forget
as they get older.
The only thing that's gonna be in there is some things that you be like, oh, that's I can't explain. So like Richie does, it says in it that his mom is overprotective.
Yeah. Too. So she remembers something.
So yeah, so she's overprotective of him, but she probably could never explain why she's so overprotective of him. She doesn't remember. You gotta remember all those kids that was in the deadlights who fell in the ice, and then they told to go on the other side. Like, you should remember that later in life that something happened to you in high school. A funny ass clown came to your school and ripped the principal's
head off,
and then you remember falling on some ice. No, they're not going to.
Yeah.
That's the sad part. They're not going to remember.
And I was just wondering. I was like, since they were still there, and since it happened to them so much, I wondered if maybe if they stayed, if they would remember, because of course Mike remembers, because
but even he had trouble sometimes,
which is why
he has to research and keep reading. But then in the book, and y'all help me, book readers, because actually it was Mike who tells them all about it, is because his grandfather had a book of clippings of research that the grandfather did.
Yeah, Leroy was keeping stuff in a book.
Right. Which will make sense on this timeline. It was the same timeline, but then they took Mike out of that. So he was the one who did the research. But in the book, he did the research. So it would have made sense. But as you're going to think, Leroy, we sitting here trying to make sure nothing happens. They're going to tell us about the history. We're about to get all the information now. Yeah. So we can be aware because we're part of the council.
So Leroy and Charlotte probably kept clips of everything.
Yeah.
All the stuff that was happening and passing on the wheel and passing on the mic.
There is a theory that Ronnie does come back, but her name is changed because her name has been changed. She got new papers, but he's been writing her. So she does remember him, and she comes back and get married, and they're Mike's parents.
Yeah, because they actually took that name from a character who's not alive in the books.
Yeah, because in the book they talk about finding her body, finding Ronnie.
Right. She's like a fourth grader that dies, so she's not even.
They had a funeral, and I was thinking, well, maybe they did, and the writers could just say that Charlotte spread that rumor as a cover for why she's not there.
Yeah,
because she went away with Hank.
Yeah.
Because where's Grandma? Michelle, where Grandma?
Grandma was there though. She was at the farmhouse. She was at the farmhouse. They finally got her.
Yeah, because they were saying when they were packing the car, they had a box with something. I think it was a magazine or something with Natalie Wood on it, and she was saying, "Yeah, we might want to put Natalie Wood in the back with Miss Grogan." Miss Grogan was sitting there. She was walking to the back of the car. So yeah, they finally got her.
I do not.
They did. Now, what happened when they left the house to save the children? She got back in that chair.
Yeah.
Okay. She turned on her soap operas.
But
as the world turns.
So Hank and Ronnie and Mrs. Grogan, they're about to go try to cross the Canadian border. Leroy and Charlotte are getting ready to move. They're packing up the house, and Dick Halloran comes by to say goodbye to Leroy. And for those of y'all who are watching, please excuse my cat. There is a stink bug flying around my house, and they are literally trying to get it. So that's why you see Leia in the background. So get out, Leia. But so they're sitting there packing. Dick comes by and they have a conversation because Dick is about to leave. And what he said, he's going to take a bus to Boston. He's going to fly to London because a friend of his has a hotel and he wants him to try his hand at cooking. And I love it when Leroy was like, well, you know, if you get in trouble, you know who to call. He was like, how much trouble can a hotel be? I was like, maybe none in London, but when
not in London.
Back to the States, you're going to have some issues.
But to be fair, it might be in London because London's so old. So he probably will have similar things in London, which I hope that's what they make the show about. Because I know they're going to make a spinoff. I know they are.
Yeah, I've heard rumors that they want a Dick Halloran spinoff, and I've heard someone suggest, because if you've seen Jack Nicholson's son, he did this movie Smile, where he does this creepy little smile, looked like his daddy. So somebody was like, yeah, we need to get an Overlook Hotel prequel, because at the end of The Shining, when you see that Jack Torrance has actually been in this hotel before and he's been there for a long time, I was like, okay, are they going to explain that? And they don't really.
Yeah,
y'all can do a little series and explain.
Yeah, but you know what?
That was for the movie,
and that was Kubrick.
Yeah, that was a Kubrick.
Stephen King didn't like that.
He didn't like that.
Okay,
he didn't like that.
Yeah,
because
he also took away
book,
Dick being the hero in the movie too, and so he didn't like that. So
yeah,
he liked that they let him be a hero in this.
Okay.
Right. He didn't like it.
It's a great movie. Kubrick is a great director, but King was not happy with that movie at all.
No.
This is a small thing, and it may just be me, but that moment between Dick and Leroy, that was a real hug.
It was.
You don't really see a depiction of Black men showing that kind of love, care, respect for each other on film, especially mainstream stuff. So that moment was really big for me, because
it was a good moment.
It felt real.
Yeah. I mean, because think about it. You both had this really contentious start, and you were kind of butting heads the whole time. But when you go through something like y'all went through, that creates a bond. And that was, going back to what Dina was saying, if Ronnie does come back, because one of the things I thought about, I was like, they're 12. There's no way they're going to get married to their 12-year-old sweetheart. But if they do remember, like if Will is there, he remembers all of this stuff. Who else is he going to bond with and have something in common with that he can, one thing about when you have partners, this is somebody you can tell everything to, that you can unburden yourself with. He's not really going to have that with anybody else. So if they do end up together, it would kind of make sense. And then if they end up dying in the fire, that's Pennywise, taking care of two of the kids that had something to do with, his defeat at this time. But yeah, going back to Dick and Leroy, I really loved that moment, because I was like, you know what, that's healing on both of their parts, and I feel like you said, Anthony, I feel like there was a lot of respect there, and I also feel like it was an unspoken apology on both ends. Like not something you necessarily need to say, but that hug, you felt it. And then when Dick was like, you got to keep in touch, man. You got to keep me updated on Will and Shar. He was like, I thought you didn't care. He was like, don't tell nobody. But I was like, you can tell Dick has a soft spot for the kids now. I don't know if it was that, if it was that moment in the black spot where he almost left them and he turned around and came back. Maybe that changed him or something, but it's like the way that he looked at Richie when his ghost showed up, the way he looked at him when he was at the funeral. I mean, literally after the funeral was over, Rich was standing there with his hands on both of his parents' shoulders, and his dad could feel it. You could see him reaching for it, but not quite touching. Dick comes over and sits next to his dad just randomly, and he looks at them and he was like, that hand you feel on your shoulder. Both of his parents turned and looked and said yes. He was like, that's your boy and he will always be there. And I love that moment because we know Rich's parents and his family, they believe in the otherworldly stuff.
Yeah.
So I love that they were able to have that moment to know that, you know, Rich was there with them. And Dick, I felt like, I don't know, maybe that was his kind of way of apologizing too for not being able to save Rich, because he tried. You know, he really tried to go back for Rich and Marge, but the ceiling fell down. So that whole little scene and with Dick, it was very healing. I loved it. I was like, yes, this is what we need.
And I think also that, you know, he probably also looked at those kids and how brave they were and really like admired the fact that all these kids was just willing to fight back. And like, you know, even with Rich, I'm dead, but I'm still here fighting the good fight. Right. He probably was very inspired by that. Yeah. When you look at him later and how he related to Danny when he found out he had the Shining, he immediately took to Danny, you know, and so I think he definitely, so something changed within him. Something is not to say.
And then he helps another kid in Dr. Sleep, right?
So I haven't seen Dr. Sleep. I haven't read it yet.
Okay,
I've seen the movie.
It's a plan.
But he helps another kid in Dr. Sleep, right? Or was it an adult that he was helping?
It was Danny as an adult.
Oh, no, in Dr. Sleep, he helped a kid.
Oh, in the book?
In the movie, he helped a kid. Or she was a teenager.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
But young, I mean, 10, 12 maybe. Yeah. I don't remember, but he was helping the kid. He was helping another kid.
About the same age as Okay. But yeah, I mean,
well, Danny was helping the kid and he was helping Danny.
He was helping Danny. Okay. Okay. But then the last thing is, while there's, well, it's a couple of things. Rose talks to Leroy and Charlotte about staying in Derry. She was like, we really want you on the council because the military has given Leroy an honorable discharge, because they're like, if you keep your mouth shut, you can leave. And that, I don't know, that didn't sit right with me. I was like, I feel like they're not going to let it go that easily. I was like, yeah, they're telling him they're going to leave him alone, but I have a feeling if they had left, they probably would have monitored him and Charlotte for the rest of their lives. But then Rose comes and she gives them this solution. She was like, hey, we really want you guys on the council. She said, because you both are steadfast, and I feel like you will help keep an eye on them to make sure they don't try to attempt this again. She said, because this is not the last time something like this is going to happen.
Right.
And at first they're like, yeah, no, we've had enough of Derry. But I saw on Charlotte's face, I was like, Charlotte is going to be the reason why they stay. Which
she a crusader. She a crusader.
Yeah.
She has a purpose.
Yeah. And also, I think she really wanted to make sure that whatever they could do to make sure that doesn't happen to other kids. I really think that she was like, you know what?
But she was a teacher. In her trade, she was a teacher. So she, you know, she couldn't just sit there and just let people, oh, you know what, leave them to their own devices.
Right.
She let, you know, the little boy was getting beat up in the street and she was the only one that ran over there to help him, you know?
Yeah.
So that's
and now they understand why.
Right.
And this is a purpose. So that this doesn't get out into the world.
Right. And they got 27 years to try to do something about it.
Yeah.
Just
right.
Keep him.
So you know you got this peace for at least 27 years.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
And he explains why he got a farm.
Right.
And she explained, she said, oh yeah, you grew up on the farm. Okay.
Yeah, because she said, I'm not touching no sheep. I'm not helping with nothing. Nope.
Oh, that's funny. I'm not touching no sheep.
I know. But Ronnie and Will were cute.
Yeah.
They had their first little kiss, because
little kissy kiss.
Will is like, well, you know, if we're gonna move away, we're gonna forget. And I don't want to forget. Well, I want to forget the bad stuff. I don't want to forget you. But I like the fact that they're gonna stay now, because again, he gets to remember the good parts about it,
And he's
including
gonna
Rick.
write her, and she probably won't forget because of him writing her.
Yeah. But that does kind of make you wonder about, and again, I need to go back and rewatch the two It movies, the recent ones that tie into this one, because we see an older Marge in those movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because she's the one that's so obsessed with everything that he's doing. Or is that
No,
that's
Eddie's
Eddie's mom.
That's
Wait,
it.
That's it.
it's been
Yeah,
so long since I saw that. Now I'm mixing
you
them
only
up.
see his mom at the bar mitzvah. That's it.
Okay.
When they were, when he went to his friend, I can't think of the one who killed himself, unalived himself.
Stan.
Mm-hmm.
And
Stan Uris, yeah. So I just wondered, like, if Will was still there, and obviously Marge was still there, she never moved out. I'm wondering, did the friendship stay? Like, did they stay friends? Because you see them before Ronnie and Will leave when they're in the tower, and you see Lily and Marge having a conversation about Pennywise, because Marge is telling Lily what he told her. She was like, he told me I'm going to have a son, and my son and his friends are responsible for his death 27 years from now. But he also said that he experiences the past, present, and future at the same time. She was like, what if this means that he can go backwards? Do you think he will try to go back and maybe kill someone from their time to make sure that we're not born? And Lily's response was really weird to me, because it's almost like she looked at it and she thought about it. She just went past my screen. But she was like, well, that'll be for someone else to deal with, which in a sense, I can understand that, because Lily was probably like, look, I'm about to rebuild my life.
Like,
but at the same time, it's like, well, I guess.
Well, first of all, how's she gonna go back in time?
Yeah, that's what I was
right. I'm like, it's our fault fight. Now we're just hoping that our relatives fight. They fight. I mean, that's all we can do. You know what I'm saying?
I was gonna say she would have there's. It's not like they can. It's not like they can send a note back to the past. They can't time travel. So yeah, it's just
they can't.
And she probably also was just trying to, like, not calm Marge down, but like also not wanting to make her feel like she was crazy. Yeah. Like people have been making her feel this whole time. So she probably was just trying to, like, it's gonna be okay. We can't do nothing about it. It's fine. Like, to kind of, because she probably, didn't want her to feel like she'd been feeling for like however long, a year or whatever it's been.
Yeah.
Not our fight. There's someone else's fight.
Right.
Yeah, put in the time.
But I loved this episode. I love this series. This is like one of the best series that I've seen this year, and I think I might go so far as to say this is probably one of the best King adaptations that they've done.
Yeah. Oh, don't forget about the Bev cameo at the end.
Oh yeah, with Miss Kirsch. Oh,
yes.
Miss Kirsch. Yes.
Miss Kirsch. They got her in Juniper Hill. She's going crazy, talking about, the wolves are out there, they're after me, they killed my
daddy, and oh my god.
And they turned on the record, and I was like, how do y'all know about the record? And I was like, oh, I forgot she worked there.
Yeah.
So they probably do. She probably, because I think she turned on that record in the vision that we saw of her with when she first saw Mabel, when Mabel talked about Pennywise. Didn't she play that record or something?
I can't remember, but I know it's.
I can't remember, but I know she did play it.
Yeah. So they play it, and it immediately calms her down. And then we see time jump to 26 years later. She's painting Pennywise's hand her dad's hand. Let me say that. She's painting her dad's hand. She hears a scream from down the hall. It's a commotion. She gets up, She goes down the hall. Now, this is the thing that I was confused about. Because generally, if someone has committed suicide in the room, you're just going to let random people walk up in the
Just
room.
walk in, yeah.
Nobody paid her any attention.
First of all, it's probably a common occurrence at Juniper Hill.
Yeah.
So nobody is surprised.
And I get that, but to just let somebody just walk in the room.
But I guess it's also that thing too, where the patients just kind of were free to just kind of roam, and then they, anytime something went down crazy, they were just there, and they wouldn't know what was going on because they was all, pretty disturbed or whatever, so they didn't really take store. It's not like me walking in off the street going, "Oh snap, that lady hung herself."
I guess I just wondered if they would take more caution, because if this woman is in Juniper Hill and she has hung herself, you have other people in Juniper Hill who have those same tendencies. Because what did the cop say when he came out? He was talking about what was her mom's name? Elfrida Marsh. He said, yeah, she's dead. She's really dead this time. So this obviously is not the first time she's tried this. My thing is, you have other patients in your hospital who probably have the same things. You really want them to see that? Like, you wouldn't do more to keep them away from that?
Girl, please.
First
Back
of
in them
all,
days, they didn't care.
one, no, they didn't care, and two, this is Derry.
Yeah, also
This is
that.
Derry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Things there don't always go how they probably should.
And
we
it's
have so
26 years later, so it's
Right.
right at the start of the next cycle. So yeah.
And it's like also, they didn't, the stuff that we have in place now, as far as laws and rules and protocols, they didn't have that stuff.
Yeah.
And even in the 80s, honey, they used to smoke in hospitals back in the day.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Oh yeah, because my dad worked at Central State Hospital.
Oh,
And
for real? My mom closed that hospital down.
See, there you go. And so
they were getting kickbacks, and they were using money and taking money and housing people who didn't need to be there so they can get the money, and they were doing all kinds of illegal stuff.
They were doing a lot of bad stuff there. But yeah, during the 80s, because I used to go hang out with him. Yeah, he smoked in his office. Everybody was smoking back then.
Yeah.
And yes, the patients, the residents did walk around freely. If they were kind of, I don't want to say harmless, but if it wasn't like, my dad didn't work in the prison, because Central State did have a couple of prisons on the ground for the criminally insane. But his buildings, the ones that had patients, they walked around. I mean, residents.
And I'm not saying they couldn't be walking around, but my issue is, y'all let her walk into a crime scene. Like,
it wouldn't even considered a crime scene, really.
Yeah.
No. No one's taking fingerprints.
When she gets into the room, there is a young girl and a man on the ground. They're crying. They're kind of hugged up on each other, and then the man elbows the girl off of him. And when she does that, Mrs. Kirsch's face changes. Like it's almost like she had a flashback.
Yeah.
And she told Beverly, because that's when she turns around and we see that it's Beverly, and this girl did not age. I think they just filmed that scene. I think I read 7 months ago. Why does she still look like she did in 2019 in the movie?
Michelle said she looks like something she's in now. Like,
right, she was changed. That's what I'm saying. I knew they didn't do no aging, because she looks like that in All Her Fault. And she's playing a young lady in All Her Fault. Like, she's playing maybe 20 in All Her Fault, and she looks exactly how she did in It.
Wow.
In It.
So no, she has not aged. That's why I was like, oh, okay. So they could use her, because she looking the same.
But so yeah, Mrs. Kirsch looks at Beverly, and Beverly has tears because her mom just committed suicide. And she looks at her and she says, "Oh dear, you know what they say about Derry. What dies never stays dead." I was like, oh, here we go. The start of the cycle.
Creepy.
Right.
It was creepy.
She was. But that, of course, ties into the It movies, and that was the end of our season. But
it was great.
It was great.
Mm-hmm.
It was.
That's right. This was a really, really good Stephen King. You can't call it an adaptation,
right?
But it's a really good
based on characters,
continuation of a story or prequel of a story.
Yeah.
And I don't think he had any
fleshed out story.
He didn't have anything to do with it, did he?
He couldn't. They say he was a frequent consultant.
Was he?
They said they talked to him a lot
about it.
But they did a good job.
They better had.
Filling in the gaps and not really contradicting what was already done. Yeah. They did a really good job.
Yeah.
You know, like when we first watched that first episode, I feel like we are years away from that first episode with how far we have come in the story, because I just was watching a video of like Phil and Teddy and them, and I was just like,
it almost feels like
we thought they were characters in this show that were like gonna be in the show, and like we're so far removed from that now.
Yeah. It's crazy. But they really did a good job with this. And I know that I saw something yesterday saying that they had been renewed, but then when I looked it up today, they have not been renewed yet.
It's better. We better do it.
I'm gonna need.
Okay, so then I saw something fake then, because I saw like when stuff is coming out.
Yeah,
and I was like, well, that's a long time, because it said
2027 is when it's estimated season 2 would come out.
Right, and that's what it said. And then 2028 was season chapter 3. And then the next year they actually have it chapter 3.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, because everything was matching up, because it showed when the other It's came out, and when this came out, and then it said 2027. Because I was like, man, that's a year that it will be. And then what did it say? Summer. One of them was summer, and one was sometime in 2027. Okay.
Now I do know that he apparently has an outline for what he wants to do for seasons 2 and 3.
So I guess that's what I saw. There's an outline, and then thinking about a movie. Like it will, because some stuff may change.
Oh yeah, especially if he is able to go back and change some stuff, that might, yeah.
And then he said it's his goal to not have to make us wait very long, if he can do that. So
yeah, and I mean, considering the way that TV shows are nowadays, 2027 is not really that far off. I mean, we're literally halfway through December 2025.
Yeah.
So 2027 is not that far off. It's not like 2 years, 3 years, 4 years.
4 years.
Some shows. So I could do a 2027. I just need them to not hold off. Don't make us stew on this. If we gonna get a second season, please let us know we're gonna get a second season.
And then it says it says summer, if this is right, summer 2027.
And so they're talking about that they rejected Paramount, so it's definitely gonna be Netflix. And so I guess they might not say things until after they've finalized the merger.
The money got to be right. The money got to be right.
And first of all, Netflix, this is their type of show, so I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, because I think is Mike Flanagan's Dark Tower series gonna be on Netflix? I can't remember.
I don't know. His Carrie one is coming out. I know he did Carrie. It's coming out.
Oh, wait, he's doing Carrie too?
Yeah. Stranger Things replacement.
Okay. But yeah, that one I'm actually looking forward to, because Mike Flanagan, especially when it comes to this type of horror, yeah, he's good. So I'm ready to see what he's gonna do with the Dark Tower series.
Yeah, so Carrie will be out next year, I think. It's a miniseries.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can either Mike Flanagan or the Muschiettes can they go back and redo The Stand? Because I need a do-over. I think Anthony and I hate watched that thing It was only 6 episodes, but we hate watched it because they could have just left it the way it was.
They could have left it the way it
They could have
was.
left it the way it was. So
Nobody listens to those podcasts.
if y'all can get either or to do The Stand again, please let's do that.
No, we should just leave it alone. Just leave.
I don't. You know what? I would actually be interested to see what Mike Flanagan would do with it.
Yeah, he could do it.
Just leave it.
But
just leave it.
This was a great show, and I know I've seen some people have some complaints about it. I think I saw one complaint about how everything just conveniently kind of worked out, and I'm like, because we already know what happens in the future, so it's like for it to not work out wouldn't make sense.
Right, it kind of has to.
Yeah, but also just the little bitty things that they did change. I didn't have it didn't affect the story for me. Like the fact that the years were a little bit off. Like I think in the book, because I just started rereading
in the 50s.
It was 58 when Georgie died. So it's about a 4-year difference. Doesn't really change too much.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, I don't really have any complaints. But like I said, I really think it's really hard to do something when you already know how it ends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they did a good job working within that framework and coming up with a lot of original stuff that doesn't really change the lore.
No.
And after watching all these YouTube videos, I didn't realize there was that much lore about it and the Dark Tower and how all that stuff is related.
I've seen
all the same. It's part of the Dark Tower universe. And I think I said on a previous podcast, that was one thing I was not going to get involved in was the Dark Tower. I'm staying away from it. I'm gonna continue to stay away from it. I know people rave about it, people love it, but the Dark Tower and H.P. Lovecraft, I'm just leaving those things alone. I don't want anything to do with it.
See, I've read The Gunslinger and I haven't read the others because, like I said, I got to a point where I couldn't read Stephen King for a while because it was staying too much in my head. But I think I'm probably going to revisit them, especially since the series is coming out, because I do kind of want to have some knowledge. And I believe, doesn't Randall Flagg appear in the Dark Tower series too?
Yes,
he's tied into that too.
Yeah, so. That's when I found out the Stand was. And then you find out that Stephen King created the Dark Tower universe, which all of his works fall into the Dark Tower universe.
Okay.
Oh my God. Yeah. And he connected it all. So I can't, because then I'll end up reading every single Stephen King book and I can't.
Like, who has that kind of time?
I don't have that time.
I have a whole bookshelf in my bedroom that's got most of the Stephen King stuff. I think I have maybe 5 of the Richard Bachman books that he wrote under. And then I have this little newspaper thing. So a few years ago at Spirit Halloween, I was in there. It was right before Halloween. So they had a whole bunch of stuff on clearance and they had this. And I think I paid like $4 for it, but it's like a newspaper article for it.
That's cool.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. So it's like bodies of missing kids found in Derry sewer system. So this would be after it is defeated. That's when they found the kids. So yeah, I was like, oh, I'm going to get this. So it's sitting on top of my Stephen King bookcase. And I usually have my copy of it sitting right next to it, but it's sitting on my nightstand now because I want to start rereading it. But yeah, I may try to get into the Dark Tower books maybe next year. I don't know. There are several things that I do want to try to read, especially before movies or TV shows come out. I think the one I really want to focus on, I really, 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 really need to go back and reread the Odyssey because it's been a damn long time, and I kind of want to see what Christopher Nolan is about to do with that. But yeah, the Stephen King stuff, I wouldn't mind seeing The Stand redone right, if they can do it, just to get the bad taste of that other one out my mouth, because I just it just it
No,
just was not
no, just no,
it was not good. But
just no.
I don't know. I enjoyed this. I'm ready for season 2. Don't make us wait too long for it, y'all.
Oh, that's right.
Give us a renewal. Give us something to hold on to.
Right. Because that's the truth. Like, don't make us lose interest.
You know what? With as good as this one was, I won't lose interest, but y'all will piss me off. Like, I don't want to have to wait 2 and 3 and 4 years. Like, Stranger Things is lucky that it is so good. Because other than that, I'd have given up on it a long time ago.
Definitely.
I mean, that is true.
Because I mean, I feel like with the way that they've spaced how often it comes out, I really thought, I was like, I'm gonna be retirement age by the time this last season comes out.
Oh, well, the kids.
I mean, yeah. So I mean, Stranger Things. Luckily, we found out that House of the Dragon is coming back next year. That one wasn't quite as long. I think that was like 2.5 years, but still, it's like,
that's crazy.
I just want to go back to the network TV days where we were getting 22 episodes a season every fall, like clockwork. But, but they're also not paying people that kind of money anymore either. So,
yeah.
But it can still be, I'm sorry, it can still be once a year, especially if you're not heavy. Yeah. If you're not heavy CGI.
And like 30 million episodes, you can really
you're doing you're doing 6 to 8.
Because we were getting Game of Thrones every year, so I don't know. They decided to do this weird 2 and 3 year period for 6 episodes.
And there was dragons.
Yeah.
So
but
now
that was also pre-COVID. A lot of things changed after COVID. COVID changed a lot of things.
Yeah,
it did, but I know they feel like now it's money. So
I need them.
It's driving me crazy.
Yeah, me too. Because I'm like you said, I mean, if you think about it, Daryl Dixon, we've gotten that every year. Even though, there's no CGI in that, but still, it's kind of like y'all doing 6 episodes. Dead City, y'all got some. Y'all don't have a lot of CGI. Y'all have a lot of practical effects because y'all are actually using walkers. And y'all are using some CGI, but not much. But we're getting that show every year.
Yeah, but Bridgerton, I know I mentioned that last time.
Yeah, we talked about that. So I don't know, but hopefully they won't make us wait for too long with this one, because this show was really, really good. And it really has renewed my interest in the It lore and in this universe. Like, I really do want to go back and read the book and watch these movies and kind of connect the dots and see what I missed or what I've forgotten, because again, I haven't read it in maybe almost 30 years. So
yeah, I think I did like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah. So I don't know.
1,000 pages.
Maybe we'll do a follow-up. If we end up reading the book, we'll do a follow-up or watch the movies and just kind of, just talk about how they connect and what we hope to see when they discuss 1935 and then 1908. Because I think that would be really interesting to see what stories they pull. Because, of course, we're not going to get the kids from this season in the next season, unless they happen to do a flash forward type thing. Like, they showed us the picture of Richie Tozier in this one, just kind of pulling him back. So maybe they'll do something like that. But we're done with this group of losers. But I like them. They had some issues in the beginning, some more than others, but I like this group of kids. They were a really good group. They acted very well. Again, Rich, hands down, my favorite character. Like, no contest. And Hank, Grogan, and Patty were probably my least favorite.
And
Even more so
Francis.
than Shaw. I would not tolerate Hank slander
So,
anymore.
so the thing with Shaw is he
Halloran.
got on my nerves, but I at least saw where he was coming from. I knew what he was doing, and I expected it for the type of person he was. I expected it. I wasn't expecting anything less. Hank being a father, again, this thing that is a monster that's just like a clown that skipped to Malone down the river towards your daughter, and you just standing there with a gun in your hand.
And he did the same
Run
exact
to
thing in the
Malone.
fire.
Huh?
He did the
What you
same
like?
exact thing in the fire.
Oh, yeah.
It
So
was not helpful. He
so
ran.
yeah, it's just yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I'm doing that. I'm saying he did the same exact
Yeah.
thing in the fire. You have Ronnie running around looking for her dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
yeah, I just yeah.
mm.
Shaw, I can understand. I can see, even though I think he was dumb, and I think he got what he deserved, and I'm so glad that they didn't do a whole, like, they did the connection with him and Rose in the beginning, and you could kind of see he still kind of had that interest, because when she walked into his office, he straightened up, he buttoned his jacket. Hey, Rose. I was like, they better not do it. They better not do it. They better not do it. And I'm glad they didn't, because Rose deserves better.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. But I mean, I knew what he was about when he started looking for this thing, and he was telling people, "Oh yeah, we're doing this. Oh yeah, we're doing water pipelines," or whatever bullshit excuse he gave to Rose, and then whatever he told Leroy. I was like, he's not being truthful. He's finna do something stupid. So I expected it. So no, he's not my least favorite character, because I knew what to expect from his character. It was coming.
Mm-hmm.
I knew it. So yeah, I think even with Ingrid, like, she did some dumb stuff. She cost a lot of lives, but especially once that reveal came that Pennywise was her dad, or that, Pennywise took her dad, I wasn't expecting nothing different from her. I knew she was going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, because if you can sit here, like you said, Anthony, if you can sit here and watch or listen to this thing munch on a child, you hear bones crunching, and you
Would.
still like, Papa, Papa. I was like,
Papa. Papa.
so I expected it from her. So she's not my least favorite. She did exactly what I expected her to do.
Uh-oh.
Did you get mad at me, Anthony? Is that why?
Yeah. I like Will a lot. I thought he had heart.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that him being a child of a military man, a hardcore military man, done dropped out of the sky and burned up in a plane crash, and just crazy stuff done happened to him. And him being the kid who kind of stuck to his guns, he was a little nerd, a little science geek. And he just loved it. He found some friends, and he went hardcore for his friends, because he finally found friends. I thought he was the sweetest little thing. And him and Rich made such a good friendship. I also kind of really liked the fact that Ronnie was kind of no nonsense, even though she did like annoy me for being so like about some things.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no, just sit and listen and learn and follow what's happening. But I liked her because I liked that she didn't take no smack.
Yeah.
It's hard being a child without your parent being there, especially your mom, and you're a girl, and you're raised up by your grandma, who grandma sitting there watching her stories, baby,
Watching
going to
her
church and watching her
stories while
stories.
while her granddaughter's just off,
Yeah,
killing clowns and doing all this other kind of stuff. So yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So I liked her character, because I just think that I think also because I've seen a lot of people too. It's really frustrating because she's a young Black girl, and she's not a pushover, and she's not weak minded for the most part, and she's not little whiny weak like Lily was being. you know, how people always have this attitude towards Black women who are, rolling their eyes, and she's the villain, and she's the this, and da 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 da. And even for Charlotte, like, I don't think Charlotte was a villain, but I saw somebody write something up about her, and I was just like, see, I get tired of people acting this way towards Black women because Black women tend to be stronger than their counterparts, and we tend to have more of a like, you're not doing me like this kind of attitude, you know.
Right.
And I get tired of people being angry about that, like, because they want them to be weak and follow every little thing. No, because sometimes you gotta ask questions. Sometimes you gotta say, nah, step back and buck against the system. Like,
and see, that was my struggle at the beginning, because I was like, I like the fact that she's strong. I like the fact that she's assertive, but also, girl, look at what time you're in and where you are, and the fact that you're doing all this stuff and you don't know, like, it would be different if you grew up in Derry and you knew that there were some people, you still gonna have your racists, whatever. But at least if you had some kind of community or somebody who was gonna have your back, like if you and Rose had been friends already at that point, and started causing trouble, then I would have felt a little bit better, because at least you have somebody to help you. But you doing all this stuff, you have nobody to help you. That was the thing that was bothering me. Girl, put your feet in the ground first, kind of get your footing before you do all this other stuff, because that was my worry.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, that's totally, you know, like, I get that. I just mean the people who are just like, oh, she's the real villain because she did this and she did that. And I'm like,
no, the real villain is Hank Grogan.
Oh my God. I liked a lot of things about the show. The kids were great. I just think Bill Skarsgård has got to win some kind of award.
He has to.
They never do for horror,
phenomenal.
Right. They don't really, but he really deserves it, because if you watch a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, he did a lot of practical stuff.
Yeah. Yes. Like being on top of that refrigerator.
Yeah. A lot of that stuff was practical. Yeah. And he looked like he really was into it. He really enjoyed it. It looked like he was having fun.
Yeah.
And he's scary. In even his interviews, I'm waiting for Pennywise to come out. So,
but it's so funny because
I'm gonna give him a lot of credit for that.
He's scary, and then as soon as they yell cut, he's making sure the kids are okay. Yeah. I love that. I was like, I like this. So it's funny because they're like, yeah, it's so weird. Like we're at the craft table and you see Pennywise sitting over there. Like, I can't even imagine what that's like.
One of them said he was doing something in the scene and he was really freaking out or whatever. And then when they said cut, I think it was Rich or one of them. He looked at him and he was like, "Man, you are so good," because he was trying to see if the kid was okay. And the kid was like, "Wow, you're really good." But the kid was sitting there screaming, "Oh my God, oh my God!" Cut. Man, you're really good at that. And then he said they kind of threw him off a little bit.
I'm sure. He was like, wait, what? But yeah, he deserves awards for this, because he has elevated Pennywise just in a way I was not expecting. Like, yes, Pennywise is scary. He is in some ways humorous. Like, even the little humorous ticks he did in this one, when he was like, tough crowd right before he disintegrated. And then when he came out of the illusion that Dick had, he was like, tricky Dicky. Just, just being funny without it being overly funny, but enough for you to be like, okay, you know what?
Tim Curry will always have a place in my heart as Pennywise. But Bill Skarsgård took it to a whole new level. And it's now it's going to be hard to not be iconic.
Right.
When people talk about scary clowns, they're not going to talk about Ed Gein or, the Terrorizer. they're gonna talk about Pennywise.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, and I don't think we necessarily have to say one is better than the other. Tim Curry did a phenomenal job with it
did.
for the time, because also a lot of the stuff that we see now, they couldn't do some of that stuff back then, you know. And I think that's one of the things about remakes and stuff. Like sometimes, yes, I get tired of seeing remakes, but if you have a way to elevate the story and you do it right, I don't have a problem with it. Like this was done right.
Yeah.
They really took the characters of this story and they kind of, you know, they raised the stakes, but also they stayed true to the canon of this story, and then they added stuff to it that enhanced it without taking away from what Stephen King originally wrote. And I love that when you can do that and still keep the heart of the story, still keep the core of the story. That's a win for everybody.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah. You guys have any final thoughts about it? Welcome to Derry.
Renew it now.
And you know, yeah. What were you about to say?
Great show. It was one of the best shows of the year.
Agreed.
Can't say the best because Stranger Things is floating around out there somewhere.
Yeah. But it is one of the best. Yeah. I mean, wow. Like it did not have a bad episode.
No.
Drawn in to the story.
Yeah.
And I can't say which one was my favorite because they were all great.
I know.
I would definitely say the last two are in that top two, but I think top episode. I think I'm gonna say the black spot, and that is mainly due to Rich. The way that young actor, like he acted his ass off in that episode, and I think that pushes it over the top for me. And then just kind of the way that they wrapped the story up and kind of gave us a little bit background in this last episode, that makes it second for me. As far as the other ones, I don't know. I honestly, maybe the first one, just because of how scary it was and how it's like you literally open the show with what the fuck and you end the episode with what the fuck. And it's just kind of like, if this is where y'all start, where are y'all going from here?
Yeah.
And I really think they kept that momentum with the rest of the show.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And it wasn't just horror and gore, it was heart. It was beautiful, like story and family and not lore, and I like all the different people involved. Not, you know, it was yeah.
It was good. Yep.
It was good.
So like Dina said, hurry up and renew the show
right now.
And on that note, that is it for our show. You can find us online at www.fandomhybrid.com. We are on social media, on all the social media at Fandom Hybrid. You can chat with us on our Discord channel. You can watch our videos on our YouTube channel, and you can listen to us on all major podcast streaming platforms. Thanks for listening. We hope you join the conversation next time.